Yo, how's it going, guys? Welcome to my Draw My Life video. I just wanted to say an insane and massive thank you for getting me here. I honestly can't thank you enough. It's been a crazy experience so far. I honestly have no idea how long this is gonna be, but nonetheless, I hope you enjoy. So it all began in the year 1995. I was born on April the 18th in a small town in the UK called Milton Keynes, but I lived in a place called Horsham, which is in between London and Brighton, for pretty much my entire life. I was one of those kids that decided to come out of the womb bottom first, so I do apologise, mum, but she had to have a cesarean. I also had an older brother called Stefan, who was 2 years older than me, and this completes our family. My mum was an air stewardess and had been for 20 years, so she was away a lot when I was young, but I used to love it every time she returned, as she'd always bring me and my brother sweets and souvenirs from her travels. I remember she got the first Harry Potter for us on VHS. From there on out, I was obsessed with Harry Potter. My dad also worked with the airport, except he helped run the air traffic control services and managed lots of people around the country, so he travelled quite a lot too. Because my parents both worked and travelled a lot, I remember we always had lots of different full-time babysitters that stayed with us, and they helped look after us when we were very young. We got on great. I do remember just a couple of them, although there was some accidents that happened. I remember one of our babysitters took us to the park this one day and left my brother and I to play on the seesaw. A few minutes later, I bashed my front tooth out when I was just 3. This meant that I grew up with the fabulous look of having a missing front tooth. My mum was also obsessed with me and my brother having long blonde hair, as you can see from this picture here. Because my mum was an air stewardess, we used to go on a lot of holidays every year. Once they decided to take us to Disney in Florida, all we wanted to do was go back every single year. And I still do to this day, and I still try to go whenever I can. I remember this one holiday, we went to an island called Menorca, and I had this awesome alligator lilo, and I decided to be a little fuck and go off into the sea behind my parents' back. I ended up drifting almost 100 meters out, and my dad had to swim out and save me, and on that day, he saved my life. Throughout primary school, which is ages 5 to 11 if you're not from the UK, I was pretty quiet, I kept to myself, I had close friends and actually enjoyed it. I remember having my first proper crush on a girl in my final year there, but as soon as we started getting closer and talking, we played a game of dodgeball, and I accidentally threw at her so hard that she fell over, and then she never talked to me again. Secondary school was a bit different, which is ages 11 to 16. It was an all-boys school with an all-girls school just around the corner. Because it was an all-boys school, you can imagine the amount of banter there was. Drawing penises on people's work and all of that sort of stuff. I remember it was so bad in final year that this group of guys actually drew a massive penis with weed killer on the school field one night, and for a while you could actually see it on Google Maps. Unfortunately, things didn't go as smoothly for me as secondary school in the first few years. I had a lot of ups and downs. I suddenly started to develop extreme anxiety and something called a separation disorder with my mum and my family. So I'd get extremely homesick even just going to school. This is when we got my dog, Miley. She's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. A pretty posh name, I know. She helped me a lot. I felt like I was responsible for something. I had a commitment, and that helped me grow out of what I was going through. This is also when I started to get into gaming. At first I was into RuneScape, Habbo Hotel, even Club Penguin. I was obsessed. And then I got an Xbox 360 and I became majorly addicted to Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, and World at War. I remember me and my friends would go to school, talk about Call of Duty and games, come home, go into an Xbox party and play zombies all night on Call of Duty World at War. It was at this point that I started to watch YouTube a lot. I remember watching Zerg Grizz's first montage and many more by others to come. I got so into it I wanted to create a montage myself, so I did. My first YouTube video I made was a Modern Warfare 2 montage. This was about 6 years ago now, and back then I was called iRyanZZ. Don't ask about the name, I have no idea why. I remember my friend at the time was cousins with a big YouTuber called Smallbeans, who's actually now pretty big these days, and he actually edited a Call of Duty video for me. I fanboyed a lot. But this YouTube channel shortly ended at the end of secondary school. After secondary school, I went to college for 2 years. I studied media studies, film studies, food and nutrition, and sociology. I fucking hated sociology. I hate sociology so much that I managed to get the worst first exam in the entire year, which resulted in the teacher completely kicking me out of the class because I was going to ruin his pass rate statistics. Unfortunately, the first year of college was a very dark time in my life. At this age, I started to develop very, very bad skin and acne. It wasn't just a few spots, it was a lot. It was painful and it sucked because it had absolutely nothing to do with my lifestyle. I was extremely hygienic, I ate healthy food, I was fit. I basically just got very, very unlucky. It got so bad that I started skipping class because I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want to leave the house. I couldn't even bear look in the mirror. No matter what I tried, every product under the sun and several courses of antibiotics, it only got worse. This is when I started to become very, very depressed. I lost every single ounce of confidence that I had. I was pretty much at rock bottom. I was offered a very strong drug that's only offered at a complete last resort. It would clear everything up, but the drug would take at least 6 months to work, and I was told it would be some of the hardest months I'd have to face in my life, with potentially some extreme side effects, including severe depression and even suicidal thoughts. The drug plays with your emotion, it affects you both physically and mentally. It's not a very nice drug. The first 2 months, from what I can recall, were the worst 2 months of my entire life. During this period, I used to stay off college completely on bad days and just play a game called RuneScape. Because I had a lot of time to play this game, I became pretty good at it. I had a big YouTube community that I always watched every single day, and this kept me motivated, and one day I decided to make my own channel, which is actually this channel today. I loved it because I didn't have to show my face. I got so into it that I made as many YouTube videos on this game as I possibly could, and I started gaining subscribers. Throughout my treatment, my skin started to get better and better to the point where I felt confident enough to put a low quality webcam on some of my videos. This all increased and returned my confidence bit by bit. As my treatment came to an end, I was the happiest I had ever been in my life. Getting through those 6 months was extremely hard, and to have my skin really clear at the end of it, a growing YouTube channel, it was insane. The channel got to 7,000 subscribers in a year, but I then started to focus more on my final year at college, so I quit the channel. I managed to pass all of my remaining courses, getting a B in film studies, a C in media studies, and a C in food and nutrition. After college, I decided to take a year out to decide if I really wanted to go to university or not. I wanted money, so I managed to get into an apprenticeship in digital marketing. No matter how lucky I was with getting this apprenticeship, I always knew deep down that making YouTube videos was what I really wanted to do, or it would at least be the start to something else where I could entertain people. I thought about returning to my old channel, but I didn't. I focused on my work. I actually loved it. I'd go home every night and learn as much as possible about digital marketing, to the point where I was advised to leave my apprenticeship early because I knew too much, and took on a full-time job with the people who hired me for apprentice work. Fast forward nearly a year to the date of January the 27th, 2015. I now had a girlfriend, the same girlfriend I have right now, Phoebe. She persuaded me to start up this channel again, so I did. And from this day onwards, I became obsessed. I made videos every single day. At the start, I was losing old subscribers and getting barely over 100 views a video. But I was committed, I stuck to it, I went to work during the day and made YouTube videos at night, every single day. Slowly, things were starting to pick up and I was gaining subscribers, and this was such a huge motivator for me. I feel like 2015 was the year I really changed my perspective on everything. During this year, I matured. I took Phoebe to Paris. I went snowboarding for the first time. I went to the Caribbean with my family. We went away a lot in 2015, but I can safely say that this year taught me to live life day by day. Find something you're passionate about and dedicate everything you have to it. I continued to make videos every day whilst advancing at work, and at the end of summer, I was offered a full-time position at one of the biggest global digital marketing agencies in the world. I was the youngest person there. It was pretty scary, but it definitely matured me a lot. I was there for 9 months. I got a real taste of what having a professional job at a large corporate company was like. Although this was fantastic, I just didn't feel like I could express my true self like I could on YouTube. The only problem was I couldn't do both like I had been doing. I had to travel a lot, work longer hours, and work harder every single day. I kept up with YouTube to the point where I was only getting about 5 hours of sleep a night. No matter how tired I was, I never gave up on making videos every single day after work. I had a dream that one day I'd be able to leave work and pursue it full time. As I continued to grow on YouTube, my work was slacking. I was getting more excited about YouTube growing than going to work. I'd plan videos at work, I'd think about videos at work, and then suddenly works just started to become a burden of mine, not this exciting opportunity anymore. They soon found out and they sat me down and said, "Ryan, you're gonna either have to resign or stop YouTube and focus more on work." I decided to leave work, take on some private work with a previous employer, and that's when I became a full-time YouTuber at 40,000 subscribers in May 2016. I'm now 100k and I'm excited to see what's next. I hope you've enjoyed my story, guys. Honestly, the biggest message I want to give to people is just, if there's something you enjoy doing or you're passionate about in life, just go for it. If you have to work to get some money at the same time, so be it. So be it if you only have 6 hours of sleep a night for a while. If you really want something, you really have to work for it. Thank you guys so much for 100,000 subscribers. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, and roll the outro.